Good Monday morning! I am MPJ and you are watching FunFunFunction. I'm doing a video series called Let's Code an Editor. It's mainly just for fun and hanging around and coding stuff, but I also try to have a theme every time. And this time, the theme that arose is hate-driven development. And what I mean by hate-driven development is where you set up your development process so that it is this constant stream of errors that is driving you forward. Hate-driven development, it sounds bad, but and also it's something I invented because it would be funny and clickbaity, but it's good because it's the opposite of confusion-driven development. Development is just a lot easier when you have an error to go on. There's something it's an exception or an error or like some validation error. It's just giving you a hint of where to look. That is very satisfying. It's a nice thing, nice way of looking at it. It's way worse if like your application just doesn't work and there's no error message and there's no hint about what is going wrong. That is the worst kind of situation that you could be in. I have no idea why this is working and I have no hint of where it is. And that is what I think that in this session that you're going to see, like I really got into, and I was really happy about it. It was just constantly one error, like me fixing it and then it leading to another. And it's just, it's a very good feeling to have. In most cases, it was the unit tests that helped me along the way. But also ESLint, integrated with Visual Studio, also gives a really good help on the way by just redlining the things that are broken while you're coding. And it just turned out very nice. Let's have a look at that, starting with the coffee. Okay, so let me remind you about where we were. The last time we migrated these commands here to a new bus. We have this thing called bussig, which is like a nice unit-tested variant of this create effect bus that was something that I wrote just as a consequence of the application, and it's become such an important part of the application that it's kind of like the central dispatch, and I wanted that to be under test, so we rewrote that in an earlier episode. You can check it out there. But this time we are going to take this Firebase module and we are going to make sure that it works on the new bus. We're in this transit state that we're moving from the old bus to the new bus. That's our objective today, to move Firebase to the new bus. Let's have a look inside of install.js. So, okay. You see here in the effects folders that there's normally a file .test, which contains a test along with the file, but we don't have that here for Firebase. And this is partially because I'm lazy, but also because Firebase, this Firebase module here, it doesn't really have any code paths besides just the one. For instance, if you see, let's see, this Firebase observe auth, all it does is to call this thing. Like there's no ifs or buts or anything. There's only a single path for this thing. It just transforms a command into another command. It's a so-called facade. The only reason that this exists at all is because like this thing would be very cumbersome to mock. It also has the benefit that it gives us like that all commands conform to a certain format, because I just happen to rewrite them in the same format, so all APIs kind of look sort of the same. But the main point is that this thing here, it's like testing it would not add all that much. You could argue that, well, like even the most complicated method begins as a very simple method, but it never will become more complicated. It is just a facade for another thing. We should not introduce more code here. I am going to change this to the new format, and it will, so let's see, let's walk through it line by line. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. So the send syntax, it's the same, and this is not changed in any way, and reply does no longer exist. Thank you. However, we don't have these any filters in the new bus. We have removed that support, or well, not implemented it. So they look like this. The interface is very similar, so I'm just gonna again, these have been removed. A lot of these empty things. I'm getting more and more doubtful about my API. Seems like I'm adding these way too much unnecessarily. And this is going to be handle, and I'm going to change that to be that, and change this to be handle, remove this, and I'm going to change this to be handle, and this handle, and remove this filter as well. When I look at this, like the idea with these were to add kind of like a semi-strong typing, which would be helpful while with the APIs. But to be honest, I'm not sure even why I added them, because I'm not a fan of runtime checks of stuff like this. And like when I have them removed like this interface doesn't make sense, because the filter things for these, like in the actual handlers, you never use them. It's I use the filters a lot while doing the unit tests, but in practice the handlers never do filtering. So perhaps this filter interface where I can do like method stuff and have only those events being matched, then maybe that should be some kind of special thing just for the unit test. Maybe some kind of handle only. Well, I'm thinking ahead. I should just make sure that I get through this refactoring, and it's always really emotionally hard when you get on this refactoring path and you, oh my god, this is way bigger than I thought. I'm not sure if this was a good idea. Well, if it turns out to be a bad thing, we can just revert it, because we're working on a branch here. Okay, let's see. So install.js, this is now migrated to the new pattern. Okay, that was not too bad. Fine. But we don't really know if it worked. That's the nasty part about this. While the other things that we have been working with, they have been under unit tests, so we can have some kind of idea that they are still working. But this thing, I just made this completely speculative, and since we're changing out an internal part of the app, we cannot really test this until I have moved everything to the new bus pattern. So this was kind of scary. Oh, yeah, let's hope it works. So let's see. Here's the sandbox. The sandbox is the little module that evaluates JavaScript for us. This is also on the old bus. We see that it uses reply, which is replaced with handle in the new bus. It also has these types that the new bus does not have. This does have tests though. On this one, I decided to add tests, even though it's very simple. This is partially though because I anticipate this to actually get more code in the future, because this thing, the eval that it does, it's going to throw errors later, and those errors are going to have stack traces, and those stack traces are going to need to be parsed by by this handler, and that is definitely going to need some unit tests, because that is going to be very tricky stuff. When I refactor things that are under test, it's very handy to just change the code and then have the test break and fix every individual test. That's a very nice way of going about it, because that means it kind of checks itself. Let's see, npm test, have the tests run. A lot of errors. It's a bit overwhelming. I am going to focus on just one, like this one. Let's just take with this one. Given eval func returns a result, yield the result as a property. This one. I'm gonna focus on it by calling fit. User okay. Could not find responder for message sandbox run matching body topic. Yeah, well, yeah, we're using this old describe command thing here. This is only for the old one. We don't care about that. We're going to just remove that, and instead we're going to create a new bus. And we are going to import create bus from I guess that busig, I think. Is that right? No, it's busig. And I think it's create bus still. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still calling it create bus. And we want create bus. And instead of the install having that helper, we just call bus. And we replace this, we replace this. Let's see. All right, cool. Sent, but no handler found. Okay, so the bus here is saying, okay, it's saying sent, but no handler found. This what we're sending, but it's not finding a handler for that thing, which is weird. I anticipated. Let's have a look inside of install. So, okay, yeah, right. We have forgotten to remove this weird little thing, and that will mess up our bus. It's actually just gonna be this. Let's run that again. Okay, passed. Cool. Let's remove the focus thing, and everything passes. If I run everything, and all. Okay, cool. I want to commit this. Git status. So we changed Firebase. Let's say git commit Firebase Firebase. Oh, need to take this. Oh no, hang on, was it git commit P? Yes. Okay, we have changed Firebase. Do we want to stage this change in Firebase? Yes. Where are we now? We are, this is still Firebase, right? Yes, I want to stage that as well. Right, this is the sandbox stuff that we did. I want to stage that as well. This, what is this? This is the test of the sandbox. Here is some more stuff in the sandbox. Tests, I'm staging that. Cool. Update Firebase handler and Firebase and sandbox handlers to new bus. Migrate. Cool, saving that, closing the window, which updates it. Cool, and git push mpj. No, it did not push. Okay, yeah, it pushes the default branch, which is master, but we're not on master. Git branch, what branch are we on? We are on bus migration, so we want to push bus migration. Cool, let's proceed. UI topics. I'm not sure if this is even used anymore. Either way, we don't need to migrate it for the purposes of the bus migration. Utils though is still using the old bus. Oh, I think we can just delete this. Sorry, I'm gonna no longer called reply, it's called handle, and old handle needs to have an empty filter object, empty filter object, empty filter object. God, it annoys me. We're gonna have to do something about that later. And this filter object is unnecessary. Cool, and that is it. Okay. You know, let's do an MP. What is left? What is left? What is left? If I run all the tests, they pass now. Let's just, I'm gonna try to, we're on the version control here, so everything is fine. So I'm just gonna delete the old bus, delete it, move to trash, see what breaks. Sandbox install test.js. Oh, then, hang on. We can just remove this because it's, I thought we fixed the sandbox. Ha! No, wait, what is happening here? Describe common. Oh, we're still importing this describe common. We no longer need this in this. We're no longer using it. Bonk. I'm surprised that Visual Studio didn't catch that. Blip, blip, blip. Okay, let's see. We have some stuff breaking. Account test.js. Okay, so these are the actual React components. From the perspective of these, the React components, we follow a kind of very Flux-like pattern where it's unidirectional. The React components never listen to the bus. Like, they are only allowed to send messages, and to they're also allowed to send messages in order to observe state changes by using Firebase. But the point is that they never use reply, which is the thing that is changed. Otherwise, that's the only thing that is changed on the new bus and bus rewrite. So we're only passing in send here. So from their perspective, hypothetically, the new bus and the old bus should be exactly the same. So let's hope that works. And let's describe. Let bus and whoops, everything is confused. And bus equals create bus, and I want to import busig. This is just bus.send. Bus.reply. Oh wait, this is a completely different test. I need to bus equals create. There's some duplication created here, but you know, I often talk about wait for a lot of duplication to arise before generalizing it, because otherwise you will not really see the general case properly. And you'll just end up doing some confused implementation. I'm changing, hang on, no. It's gonna be bus.handle. And we're gonna pass in bus.send, bus.handle, and it needs a filter object. Bus assert message. This looks fine. This also needs a bus. Bus create bus. Bus.send bus reply. It's no longer reply, it's handle, and handle always wants a filter object. Here is another reference to bus, bus.handle, and boom. Oh, this is so exciting. It actually feels really good. Let's see what errors we get. Bus.assert message is not a function. Don't we call it assert message anymore? Let me see inside of busig. It's called, oh, we call it expect. Fair enough. Test.js 107. This is one thing I really don't like with React, Create React app, is that it does some transpilation and stuff with Babel, which is, I'm so torn on this with transpilation, because on one hand it gives us all these fancy ECMAScript 6 features, but on the other hand it means that we lose stack traces, which is so bad. We can figure it out in this case though. Assert message. No, wait, it actually was the right line. I'm just ranting for no reason. Maybe it always figures that out. I wonder if it does. There's another assert message here somewhere. Yes, expect. Save. 50. Cool. This is green. Account.test is green. What? Alright, I have to press A to run all tests. A. Okay, bang. Cannot find create effect bus from describe.com on JS. Alright, we have app test JS. Okay, what does this look like? Okay, this uses describe common as well. We're gonna remove that. And we're gonna change it to normal describe. And we are going to do. So this wants a bus as well. And it wants a bus dot create bus, which is not going to exist here. We need to import it. Import create bus from busing. Is that it? Can we do that? I'm gonna focus on one of these so that we don't get distracted. Did that even work? Describe does not expect a done parameter. Oh, right. This is actually, so this was describe common before. And you see here this get observe href callback. That is actually coming from describe common. Because here I did this thing where I anticipated that this observe href would be used all over the place because it's the current location of the navigation bar of the browser, but it's in practice only used inside of app. So we're gonna move it into inside of this thing. And I see here also that this wrapper here, I'm going to be creating the bus up here, and I'm going to be doing it down here as well. And we also have this observe href callback thing that we are doing. So I'm going to put that in the before each of the big describe, because all of them are going to need this. And it's going to be a bus.handle, and it's going to get an empty unnecessary filter object that I have to refactor away at some time. And it doesn't have a bus, so we need to create it. Bus equals create bus. And we need a utils, and we are import utils from effects dot utils boom topics. Is that it? Is that right? Is that right? Is that right? Is that right? I just want to run these. Stop running all the tests. Sometimes just is so dumb. app.test.js. Describe does not expect a done parameter. Oh yeah, it's actually not getting a done parameter, but it's these things that it's confusing with done parameters. I'm gonna remove those. It lost my regex. Cannot read property tag. find of undefined. Yes, how can you even run this? There's stuff. Anyway, we need to create these things. Observe href callback. What is this? It's it's just a function or a variable. I mean, it's a variable that will be assigned a function. And it's going to render, but it's just going to get bus. Oh, here is some flow residue. I'm gonna leave that there for now so that we don't do too many things at once, but I probably will remove flow from this project. Get observe href callback. That was an described common thing. Right now it's just gonna be we just call the observe href callback directly with the argument. It's much nicer, much simpler to follow. No meta programming here. Let's see, did that help? Yeah, the test changed somewhat at least. This focus does not work, I think. Oh yeah, it actually does. It just gets 3 errors. This is so annoying. All right. Cannot read property observe href of undefined. App test 19 utils. All right. No, this import is not working. Let's see how this is supposed to work. Let's go to effects, utils. Oh, this is how it works. This is how it works. This, that's how it's supposed to be. All right, that is now passing. Let's remove the focus. Cannot read property find about when we navigate to a playbook. Cool, these are broken. I'm gonna focus on one. This is just the observe href callback nowadays, and we have the bus in scope. We don't need this weird meta programming helper. And it's still not as expected. Okay. That was now passing. I'm saving. Get bus is not defined on line 35. So you see here that I'm just letting the test do the work for me, and a little bit of Visual Studio's linter, and it just tells me what to do all the time. I don't have to figure much things out. It's just a flow, and this is when test-driven development really shines, I think. You can do refactorings very safely. Right, 5 passed. Seems like app.test.js works. Run all of the things. You know what? I'm gonna stop here. Because this is a great place to stop. Often when doing programming, it's hard to know like a good place to quit for the day. You know, find a good, like when does the work session end? And I feel like stopping on when you have a broken test is a really good place to do it, because that means that it's very easy to get into it again. It shows you exactly what is broken, and you can start fixing that, and you can get into the same flow that you had from your last session. So next session I know exactly what to do. I'll just run the test and they will tell me. You have watched an episode of FunFunFunction. I release these every Monday morning at 800 GMT. If you don't want to wait that long, you might want to check out this playlist or this playlist for episodes that you might not have seen. You might also want to follow me on the Twitter and say hi. I am MPJ. Until next Monday morning, stay curious.